For the past few years, I've reported on human trafficking, poverty, and addiction. And throughout my career, I've had many opportunities to go and report on dangerous topics, but no one would let me. This time I decided to follow my gut, and I'm headed to Europe to find out how legal prostitution and human trafficking is affecting women around the world. The first stop was the airport, where I met Beth Williams. She's a mom and an outreach worker who's dedicated her life to fighting human trafficking in Wisconsin.
Before I started in Madison, I had started worldwide, understanding what trafficking is around the world. And I think that we have found these organizations in Amsterdam and Belgium that are really making a difference.
By working directly with these organizations, she's able to find out the best way to combat human trafficking in her own backyard. That's why she and 15 others jumped on the plane and headed to a city that's known for its drugs, sex, and vibrant nightlife. Amsterdam. I'd never been to Amsterdam and had little to no connections, but I was determined to find out what was actually happening behind the city's famous windows. Right now we're in the red light district, and you might not have guessed that because, well, it's empty. But when the sun goes down, a lot of things change. These windows are filled with women, and these streets are filled with tourists.
How are you today? How are you? I'm good. Yeah? So, I like your style today. Yeah? Roxy, amor.
This is Mark Dorman. He belongs to one of the 8 families that own most of the windows throughout Amsterdam's red light district.
My job is called the sort of custodian. That's what I said, like I'm a modern day pimp. It means landlord. I have rooms, I have the buildings, I rent them out.
Girls pay between 120 and 540 euros a day for one of Mark's windows. And whatever money they make after that is theirs to keep. And sometimes they make a lot of money.
He paid almost 7 grand for 8 minutes of heaven, bro. Because he tapped it. She just put 7 grand on her machine. He just went out without looking. So people always say that's a hustle, that's a scam. No, it's not, man. You went in. You agree with that. That's you're mature enough, you're old enough to do that.
While the money isn't regulated, this sex work is.
Permits, licenses, health checks, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Background check as well. Are you being exploited? Are you here by your free will? Are you being pimped out?
Some girls are being exploited by pimps and traffickers, and Dorman has seen this firsthand.
2013, like literally a 3-year span, that's when actually the rule got to know more. Everybody knows it's like it got more grimy. There's a lot of problems with Albanian people that come in with sex trafficking.
He does what he can to make sure the girls working with him aren't being trafficked. But with that job comes an inherent danger.
Some parts of our job is not really good. Like I had a period that I had to walk with a bulletproof vest for like almost 1.5 years, just because I found out 2 girls that were being pimped out.
Dorman told me one of the women working for him would be willing to speak to me. As soon as we got to the street where she was working, things got very uncomfortable.
Listen.
They really have to go.
No, I know. They have to go. Yeah, that's why. They're doing a documentary from the States. I know, they're very nervous.
They're very stressed.
I know. I come later, call you now, yeah? Okay, cool. Alright. Walk out like this. There's a few of the girls are very stressed today.
The last thing we wanted was to make anyone feel unsafe. So we left Dorman in search of a group that helps women escape trafficking and prostitution. That's when I met Fritz Ralvoet.
What you can't get at home, you buy it by a prostitute.
Yeah.
Fritz is the director of Bright Faith, a religious organization that helps women navigate out of a life of prostitution and human trafficking, and the only man who was sent to the red light district by his wife.
I think it's more important that he has seen me, and when you have seen me, you have seen Jesus. He is in me.
Decades ago, Fritz started going into the red light district to speak with sex workers, a strategy he said worked very well.
They know you are always there, and when there is something, when they know something, or has to know something, when they need some help, they know they can ask you. And I think this is important, that you are visible for them.
In 2019 alone, Fritz and his team helped 22 women escape human trafficking and navigate out of a life of prostitution, a life he said many women never wanted in the first place.
There is always a reason what brings her in. And that's not always human trafficking. It can be poverty or she's sexual abused in her teenager time or childhood, or and goes on, and then she makes thinks I will be a prostitute and then I will make my own money.
Fritz says most women feel they have no other option than to sell their bodies for money. That's why his organization helps unlock their full potential and teach them life skills that will keep them out of the windows for good.
Sometimes I'm here standing in front of this mirror, and there is written Bright Fame, our organization, but shoulder by shoulder. And then we stay in this way here, and look girl, here is standing, shoulder by shoulder. You have something that I can use, and I have something that you can use, and together we can make a step.
I'd learned a lot from Fritz, and I'd been able to see the red light district during the day. Now it's time to find out what happens when the sun goes down. And I hadn't talked to Beth since the airport, so I told her to meet me under the red lights. What do you think about it? I mean, you just walked down here to meet me. What's going through your mind when you're walking through there?
It's just so interesting. I feel like so much of like human trafficking has become such a buzzword, and I think prostitution has become just so normalized. But you walk past like the windows, and it's like person. It's somebody's daughter. It's somebody's sister. It's a friend. It's a person. And so I think sometimes just making it so normalized has taken away like the personality of the person in it.
And what's the hardest part for you seeing this kind of stuff? Because I think for the average people, like we can look around right now and everybody's smiling, they're having a good time, and they seem very unaware of the things that you're aware of. So what's the hardest thing for you to come down here and see all this happening?
I don't think people they see the person in the window, but they don't see their life behind the window. And so like I feel like I've worked so closely with women, so you see like their heartache, and you see like they're looking for love, and like, oh, maybe this guy will come back and visit, and maybe that'll be a client that I can build a relationship with. I mean, I think so many want like the pretty woman idea, like, oh, he's gonna sweep me off my feet and take me away. And so I feel like so many like that is the heartache, and so many have kids, and like there's just all these other normal life things that happen beyond just the person standing there.
After the interview, Beth's work wasn't done. She went window to window speaking to women, hoping to find out why they were there.
Hi. Hello. Do you are you ever interested in getting some resources or help from other organizations?
Pele que organiza. Combine.
You
speak Dutch?
No, English. You speak
My English. Only money.
only money. Oh.
Fritz, the outreach worker we met earlier, had told me that most women working in the red light district come from other countries, and that language barriers often limit their options for work, something that Beth noticed right away.
How long have you done this? ¿Cuántos años in
Holanda. 30 años.
30. Oh.
The woman Beth was speaking with was from the Dominican Republic. She had a friend with her from Bulgaria. But during her time in Amsterdam, Beth had not met any sex workers from Holland.
Like 1 hour? Una hora?
Una hora conmigo? You?
No. Oh, you're warm. I'm cold.
They pay 1 hour 200.
200 for 1 hour. Oh.
You were working?
No, I've not been working.
Okay, I'm on it.
Okay, yeah, you go back to work.
Okay, baby.
Okay, bye. Mucho gusto. That was.
How was that?
Well, first she thought I was coming to see her. And then she was wondering if I was wanting to get the information so I could start working.
Beth wasn't interested in either of those things. And after almost a week of speaking with women and doing outreach work, she felt she learned everything she could in Amsterdam. My time was also coming to a close in the city. I'd spoken to a modern-day pimp, found an organization that was helping women, and got as close as I could to going into a woman's window. But I still wanted to learn more about human trafficking, and I hadn't gotten a chance to sit down and talk with any sex workers. So I hopped on a train to Antwerp.